What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former three-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, former quote-unquote pound-for-pound top 5 fighter in the world, Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, just cannot seem to accept the fact that he has lost to undefeated, now unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez. Now, Vasily Lomachenko is claiming that he injured his shoulder somewhere between the fourth and the sixth and the seventh round. And now that he and his team were on the verge of stopping the fight, but he pushed forward because he's a warrior. So he didn't want to make up no excuses. If you didn't know, Vasily Lomachenko now has had shoulder surgery, and Vasily Lomachenko is saying and claiming that's the reason for his shortcomings in the fight with Teofimo Lopez. This is eerie similar to the situation that 8th Division world champion, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, now the WBA welterweight world champion, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, uttered when he faced off against legendary, retired, undefeated, former 5 Division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, Floyd Money Mayweather, right? Manny Pacquiao stated that the reason he couldn't win the fight against Floyd Mayweather is because he had shoulder injury, right? His right shoulder was bothering him, so he couldn't throw punches with his right shoulder. But at no point in time, when you look back at the fight, do you see Manny Pacquiao struggling to throw any type of punches with his right shoulder, with his right hand, right? You never see him struggling or wincing in pain. The same situation and scenario goes for Vasily Lomachenko. If you look back at the fight, from the first 7 rounds on, he wasn't throwing punches. That was due to the fact that Teofimo Lopez, his aggression, his ability to box, his quick reflexes, his speed, right? It proved to be it proved to be a bigger issue than Vasily Lomachenko initially thought going into the fight. So he had trouble with his speed, his reflexes, and his boxing ability. And so with that, he underestimated Teofimo Lopez, who only had 15 fights and is only 23 years of age. He thought that his experience, his amateur background, and the hype following him, the fact that he's a 3-division world champion, was going to get him past the fight. So at what point do you see Vasily Lomachenko wincing in pain, or from the 6th, 7th round on, do you see him lacking in throwing punches? His punch output picked up as the fight went on. So how could he possibly suffer the injury during the fight, in which he said that his team was on the verge of stopping the fight, but he gutted it out because he's a warrior? At what point did you see him wincing or him favoring his shoulder or highlighting that his shoulder was injured? When Floyd Mayweather injured his shoulder against Jose Luis Castillo in the first fight, you clearly saw that there was something wrong with Floyd Mayweather. When a fighter has an injury in the fight, there's a clear indication that something is wrong at some point in time in the fight. You can clearly see that there's something going on, and the fighter just isn't a fighter you used to and accustomed to seeing in the ring. So at what point do you see this take place with Vasily Lomachenko? At what point do you see Vasily Lomachenko wincing in pain? At what point in time in the fight do you see Vasily Lomachenko hesitating to let his hands go? At what point in the fight, at least from the 7th round on, do you see Vasily Lomachenko not being aggressive? At what point in the fight do you see Vasily Lomachenko looking nothing short of himself? At what point in this fight do you see Vasily Lomachenko not having the speed, not using the angles? There is no point in the fight. What this is it's probably a long-lasting injury that most athletes that are professional athletes have some sort of injury that are long-lasting, and at some point in time, they decide to fix that injury. Now we know when Vasily Lomachenko struggled with Jorge Linares, he highlighted the fact that he had an injury to his shoulder. Vasily Lomachenko going into this fight with Teofimo Lopez made it his business to say he was going into this fight 100% healthy, unlike the fight with Luke Campbell, unlike the fight with Jorge Linares, unlike the fights in his past, where he highlighted and stated in the build-up, in a all access type of build-up for this fight, he stated clearly that he was 1,000% healthy, and this was the first time in a very long time that he was 1,000% healthy, and he was going to make Teofimo Lopez pay for his words, because we are truly going to see him showcase his full talent on display, because this is the first fight in a very long time that he is 1,000% healthy. And now he's stating that he re-injured the shoulder at some point in time in the fight. He didn't really truly highlight what round exactly, but he's saying he re-injured his shoulder at some point in time in this fight, and now that hindered him from being successful. Vasily Lomachenko can't accept the fact that he lost to a guy that's only 23 years old and only had 15 fights, a la himself. They had a combined 30 fights amongst each other going into this fight. And Vasily Lomachenko cannot accept the fact that he lost to Teofimo Lopez. You can see his body language after the fight was announced. He walked out the ring. He walked to the locker room. He wasn't going to stand in the ring. He didn't congratulate Teofimo Lopez. He went on his merry way, right? He didn't recognize Teofimo Lopez for his accomplishment. He stated that he thought he clearly won the fight. He blamed the judges, a la Manny Pacquiao, blamed the judges in the Floyd Mayweather fight, thought that he won the fight. Vasily Lomachenko is claiming that he felt like he won the fight and that the judges, robbed him. So he feel like he did all of this with a bum shoulder. So he had an injured shoulder, and he still feel like he won the fight. So this is a clear indication that Vasily Lomachenko clearly feels like his skills are superior, far more superior than that of Teofimo Lopez. Thus, another indication that he cannot accept the loss. He can't accept defeat. See, there was a built-in excuse when he lost to Orlando Salido, when he stated that, it was just too early in his career, right? Although he turned pro at 26 years old. But it was too early in his career. He was too green. But immediately he went into a title bout in his next fight after losing to Orlando Salido. So it wasn't that early in his career, right? Everybody said that he shouldn't have jumped in with a journeyman and a rough, rugged guy like Orlando Salido early in his career. That's the reason he lost. So there's always a built-in reason for why Vasily Lomachenko comes up short. But nothing to credit his opponents for why he came up short. Just give Teofimo Lopez the credit he deserves for what he achieved and what he accomplished, and being a better boxer than the boxing world and the boxing fans initially thought he had the ability to do. He outboxed Vasily Lomachenko for the first 7 rounds of the fight. Clearly. In the second half of the fight, Vasily Lomachenko knew that he was down big on the cards, and he was being aggressive. And at no point did you see a shoulder injury hindering him or preventing him from doing the things that he normally does. At no point in time in that fight did you see Vasily Lomachenko not looking like Vasily Lomachenko, other than the fact that Teofimo Lopez nullified the things that he does great. Because his greatest strength is his legs, not his shoulders. Now, I do agree, obviously you need your shoulders and your arms because this is the sport of boxing. But at the end of the day, his greatest accomplishment, his greatest feat, his greatest strength that everybody points to when they discuss how great he is the fact that he has great footwork, some of the best footwork they've ever seen. He uses some of the best angles that most guys have ever seen in the sport of boxing, thus allowing him to put his opponents out of position and taking advantage of that, capitalizing on it. He was not able to do that. He was not able to consistently put Teofimo Lopez out of position. Actually, Teofimo Lopez was the only one putting himself out of position when it all boils down to it. It was Teofimo Lopez that put himself out of position to allow Vasily Lomachenko to have the success he was having. Again, there were no indications that Vasily Lomachenko had an injured shoulder. There was no indications that the fight was on the verge of being stopped due to the injury he suffered in the fight. None of these indications indicated that he wasn't the same guy at any point in time that we used to seeing in this fight. He looked like the same Vasily Lomachenko that we saw in his last fight with Luke Campbell. That was vulnerable. And they can't accept defeat. They can't accept the fact that Teofimo Lopez was the better pure boxer. That's what they can't accept. That's the biggest issue. But let's see what's next for Vasily Lomachenko. He's campaigning for a rematch, obviously. Teofimo Lopez says he has no interest in giving him a rematch. He wants to move on to bigger and better things, and I agree with him. But drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.